We're going to be reviewing MACED's new project management dashboard. This is a great tool that we've been working with MACED to create so that you can now work with the MACED team and the clients of theirs that you're doing projects for all online, and everyone's got a little more transparency and to the project communications. You can upload invoices and proposals and documents online and get them approved online. You can upload your whole proposal. You can write it directly in to this dashboard online. You don't have to create other documents now. You'll be able to do all that through this dashboard. And that'll cut down a lot of the back and forth emails, scanning, faxing, if you're doing any of that. Hopefully we can just do everything through this project portal now. They'll definitely be ironing out some things, some training. You'll have questions. Please feel free to contact us. We definitely want to make this user friendly. But let's jump in. So the project management portal, here's the dashboard, my current dashboard. It's going to let you see all of your projects, everything you've got going on, a calendar, task you have upcoming. So it's going to be a really great tool. So when you're getting started, you're going to get an email like this one I've got pulled up right here that says, congratulations, you've got a project, here's your login, here's your password. Anytime you want to access your dashboard, you're just going to click on a link like this, loans.maced.org/TA project. Once you have been added to a project, you will get an email that looks like this that says congratulations on your new project, and you can just click in it to view that project. So today our project that we're going to be reviewing is a project for a company called Noah's Landing, and they are a boat storage company. They need a logo and sign, and so MACED has invited us to work on this project. Now we haven't accepted yet, but we're going to talk about how do we do that. And then how do we do the assessment and write up our review and our assessment and submit a proposal. So here on the left, right here, it says project description. That's that kind of step one form you've probably received in the past. You're going to learn all about this project, what maybe the problem is, what previous efforts have been made. And then on the right, you're going to have notes about the project, like contact information, so you can get in touch with the client so you know who to talk to if you have questions. And then we're going to jump into phases. And the first phase of the project is the same as step one was in MACED. That's the background assessment for this client. So you've been invited to look and do a background assessment. So here's the description, which kind of explains what's expected of the consultant during the background assessment. So if you're good, if you're on board, yes, I want to do this project, then you're going to accept it. So here we go. I accept this project, and I want to notify everyone on the project, hey, I am super excited about this project. Let's get started. I can meet tomorrow at Noah's Landing office at 11 a.m. There we go. That's going to send a notification to everybody who's on this project. Okay, so now let's say you've gone out, you've done this project. These aren't supposed to be checked yet, but so you've accepted the proposal, check. I've done that. I set a date for the on-site assessment. Yes, we're going tomorrow at 11 a.m. So now it's tomorrow, you've completed all that stuff. Now it's time to provide a written assessment report in phase two. All right, so I'm done. I'm ready to provide my written assessment. So let's go to phase two. So this is the part where you're going to start editing the project, phase two. So hit edit the project. And you get to skip over all of these kind of pieces of setting up the project and jump right to phases. And then just click here and open up phase two. Okay, so after your assessment, you're kind of reviewing it and you say, okay, they need a logo and a sign. I think this is going to take us about, we'll say 25 hours. to do all this. Okay, so you haven't spent any hours yet. And we'll show you how to report those hours. So, okay, so what is our advisor scope of work? Well, we are going to create a professional logo for Noah's Landing and create a 4-foot by 8-foot billboard design. Okay, so what are they going to get? They will get, so maybe you want to bullet this out, that might make it easier. A logo package with multiple logo files for different mediums and usage, and then they'll get a billboard design file. Okay, so what is the client expected to receive? They'll have new logo and branding for launching their business. What's our timeline? So in the description, MACED had asked us to have this project finished by February 15th. To us, that seems reasonable. Maybe it doesn't, like you've got to kind of assess that. Maybe there's been no timeline, but we'll say for the purpose of this project, February 15th works for us, so we're going to put that in here. But you can always, this is when you can kind of state, like, this is the time frame I'm going to work on, and then you're going to have the opportunity to go back and forth with MACED and the client and, adjust the project scope as needed. So how many hours? Well, we're saying we think it's going to be 25 hours. You can put your agreed hourly rate here and list any additional expenses. So we want to be clear that we are not printing the billboard signage. That will be at the cost of the client. Okay, so now they know we won't be doing that. And maybe, you want to talk about mileage or something like that. So you can see down here, we know who needs to approve this, Kedeke and John. Okay, so we'll save our, I've got to go to the bottom, save. Okay, so we'll save it. So we're going to wait to hear back from Kedeke and John and get approvals once they review it. So while we're waiting, what we need to do now is, normally this would say 0, but once you have completed all 5 hours, now you've gone in, you've written your proposal, you did your assessment, that took 5 hours for you to do all that. So you can update that. And we know that MACED needs their invoice before the 15th of the month. So while we're waiting for them to approve, let's go ahead and upload the invoice for phase 1. Okay. So this is the invoice for phase 1 of the assessment. And you don't have to add a description if the title is pretty self-explanatory. So you can upload a file here, or say you have a link to your invoice or a link to whatever document you want to upload, like maybe it's a Google Drive or Dropbox folder. Instead of uploading it, you could just link to it. So that's also an option. But in this case, we're going to upload. Okay, let's see. Here's our invoice. Perfect. And we can notify specific users. So in this case, we're just going to notify Kedeke. All right, so our invoice is in there. She's going to be able to review it and approve it, and we'll know when it's gotten approved. And she'll send that back to us so we can get paid for phase 1. So great. Sounds like, you'll get an email once things have been approved. And so we'll pretend for, moving this video along that Kedeke and our client have been able to go in and approve, even though we can see they haven't yet. Now it's time for us to set our task. And this is going to help everyone see like what we're going to be doing, and that will be able to be viewed against how many hours and the timeline of our project, so we can kind of make sure we're on track. Okay. So again, we're working in phase 2 right now. So we're going to go here, and it's time for us to set task. Okay, so we already have one task. So our first task is We need to get a logo assessment to understand client style. So we're gonna do an interview with them. Okay, then we're gonna provide some draft logos and color schemes. Okay. Oh, let's assign this to ourselves. And we need to have that done because we know we got to be done in February. So let's say we've got to have that done by February 3rd. And then we need to narrow our logo down to 2 options. Okay, we'll put that on us. Due date. February 5th. Okay. Then we need to provide a final logo. Or we'll say, just so you can see, you can assign things to other people. Get a final decision from client. So John Hamill has to give us a final decision, and he has to do this in order for us to meet his deadline by February 7th. Okay? And then provide final logo package, and that's assigned to us. We'll provide that on the 9th. And then now we've got to make our billboard, create billboard signage draft, assign to, okay. And final one, provide final signage for print, assign to, and we'll put it on the 14th, give us 1 day before deadline. Okay, so now we come down here and we save our task. So let's see how that's kind of changed the way our project looks. So now you can see our progress. So we can see our progress that we're making. We have 17% checked already because we've already completed those first 3 tasks in phase 1. We've already done 5 of 31 hours that we've said. That's the 5 plus the 25, and then there's 1 in phase 3, 1 hour in phase 3. And then our timing, we've already used 4% because we're kind of through a little bit of today. So we better get moving. We got a lot to do. So as you begin to make progress in your project, you can check off your task, and you can see that that's going to change your progress and your hours. So because we've done all that work, we're going to update it, put in 10 hours. Now you can go back and see, okay, so you've made a little bit more progress than hours, and you've got a lot of time left. Your project's looking good. So this is a great way to track this. The client can see this, and MACED can see this. Everyone can see how the project is tracking. And you can continue to add invoices and deliverables as they go on. So then the final phase that you'll use is phase 3, and there's 1 hour allotted for this. And it only needs 2 approvals, the client and MACED approval. You don't have to approve anything here. But basically, this is a summary of, okay, we finished the project. It's February 15th. Let's wrap it up now. And so you'll go in, you're going to edit all of this stuff, and then you can also, right here in Documents, add all of your deliverables. So we need to provide the client with their logo, Noah's Landing logo. And you can do this throughout the project rather than emailing the client if you prefer to have everything in here so that there's reference to those things. You can keep all of your documents. You can add them to phase 2 or at the top. So we want to notify, let's notify the client that they're in here. And you don't have to notify anyone. Okay. Okay, and they can approve that all the documents have been added. Okay, and then we need the NOAA's for the signage. This is the 4-foot by 8-foot billboard sign, and we're going to upload that. Okay. Great. We can add a reply. Guys, it was wonderful working with you. Hope everything looks good. Okay, post comment. We're not done, even though we've put all this stuff on here. We still need to go and edit phase 3 and kind of give a summary. And you've got an hour to work on this. Okay, so we go up here to phases, and now we're going to go to phase 3. So what date did you deliver it on? We delivered everything on the 15th, just like we had planned. We had a great working relationship with the client, finished the logo and signage with no problems. The client now, they just need to go in here and they can click that to provide us a review, and that's all we do. So we're done with the project at this point. And so we'll go back to the dashboard. I'll show you some other features that you have, and then enjoy using this and let us know if you have questions. But so you can click this to edit the project at any time, to send a notification. So that's kind of like an email that's going to go through the system, and you can send it to all the users on the project or just specific users. You don't want to delete your project, so don't accidentally click that. See an overview, phases, to see all the discussion that's happening. So definitely play around and see what's going on, and you can always get back to your dashboard or edit the project here. Well, it was great showing you this today. I hope you enjoy this, and again, please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or ideas. We definitely want to make this something you enjoy using. Have a wonderful day.